Hi kids, today we're going to talk about a new topic called redox. Now redox is made from two words. OX stands for oxidation and RED stands for reduction. When an oxidation and reduction reaction occur at the same time, we call that redox. Now there are few definitions to oxidation and reduction. The first one is about oxygen. If a element gains oxygen, we say it is oxidized. And if it loses oxygen, we say it undergoes reduction. So gain of oxygen, oxidation, loss of oxygen, reduction. The second one is to do with electrons. If something loses electron, we say it undergoes oxidation. And if it gains electron, we say reduction. The third one is about something called an oxidation state. We'll learn more about that in other videos. But basically, if the oxidation state of something goes up, we call that oxidation. And if the oxidation state goes down, we call it reduction. Now, the final definition is not really widely used. It's about hydrogen. When something loses hydrogen, we say oxidation. If it gains hydrogen, we say reduction. So, remember, these are the definition for oxidation and reduction. Oxidation, gain oxygen. Reduction, lose oxygen. Oxidation, lose electron. Reduction, gain electron. Oxidation, oxidation state increases. And reduction, oxidation state decreases. Now, let's look at the first one in terms of transfer of oxygen. So, let's say copper oxide was heated together with carbon. This produces carbon dioxide and copper. Okay, now, who has the oxygen now? Copper 2 oxide has the oxygen. But at the end of the reaction, copper 2 oxide has lost its oxygen and become copper. So, from copper 2 oxide, it has become copper. It has lost its oxygen. So what we say is, we say that copper 2 oxide is reduced, or copper 2 oxide undergoes reduction. Remember, only the reactant can be either reduced or oxidized. So the reactant here is copper 2 oxide. Now, what about carbon? At the beginning, carbon has no oxygen. But at the end of the reaction, carbon has gained oxygen. So we say that carbon has undergone oxidation, or carbon is oxidized. Now, why is carbon oxidized? Because it has gained oxygen. Alright, so carbon is oxidized and copper 2 oxide is reduced. And therefore, oxidation and reduction happens at the same time. This is known as a redox reaction. Okay? Now, what about in terms of electrons? So let's see. If I show you something like this, magnesium reacts with copper 2 sulfate, produces magnesium sulfate and copper. And I were to tell you to tell me what is the redox reaction based on what you see. Well, we can't really see anything because everything looks the same. So we can't see any oxygen, we can't see any hydrogen, and obviously we can't see any electron. That's where it's very important for you to know the difference between an element and a compound. So, magnesium here is an element, but the magnesium in magnesium sulfate is a magnesium ion. So from magnesium to magnesium ion, it has lost electron. So this reaction is oxidation. So we say magnesium is oxidized because magnesium has lost electron. The copper in copper 2 sulfate is actually a copper ion. The copper ion has now become copper. In order for that to happen, copper ion had to receive electrons to become copper. So we say that this is a reduction reaction. Okay, so oxidation is the loss of electron, reduction is the gain of electron. And because both of them happen at the same time, this is also a redox reaction. We'll be talking about more redox reactions in our next videos. See you!